Welcome back to no, you can't be welcome back to a new season. Welcome to
First time ever, season 4.
Wow. Season 4 of Very Good Enough.
I am very excited.
Me too.
Welcome. I'm Jessica Hover.
I'm Lane Dealing-Sherland, and this is Very Good Enough, a podcast from Very Good Mothers Club.
And today's episode is my lovely husband, Shaun Hover.
Sure is.
Yeah, and it's such a good one. I wasn't expecting it to be... I wasn't expecting it to
choose your words.
Yeah. I was expecting it to be great. I wasn't expecting it to be emotional for me. Mm-hmm. But certain parts were emotional that just like snuck up on me.
Yeah. There are these beautiful spots. You can see it if you're watching this video. Yeah. But there are these beautiful spots where suddenly everyone just kind of starts leaking. And you can't see the tears, but you do start to see us wiping our eyes here and there. And I think... I'm sure there's obviously an added layer for you because this is your person talking about the children that you made.
Totally.
But even just as like an adult person listening to a dad talk about being like this,
it's just powerful.
Very powerful and moving.
Yeah. It does something to your inner child. Like it's about your children too, but it's also about you. And I don't know, I felt like it was really, you just used the word nourishing about another episode.
Yeah.
But this one I found also to be nourishing in a way that I didn't expect.
Yeah. Yeah. Very powerful. And I don't know if you recall, because we recorded this a little bit ago, but we've selected this episode to kick off season 4 because it's great, but also as kind of like a your family celebration because today is actually Jules' 3rd birthday.
Yes.
And she makes an appearance in the episode.
Yeah. October 17th, Julesy celebrates her 3rd birthday. And what I am excited to learn from you, beloved Lane, is the 3-nager thing that they talk about. I didn't remember that hitting as hard as it is hitting in my life right now with my fiercely independent, lovely, but like very fierce 3-year-old. So I'm going to need to learn some things.
We got a whole year.
Yeah.
The beauty is that everyone who came early on in the podcast because they had 2-year-olds is now here to be like, okay, me too. So there's this kind of cool thing about like doing this podcast over time is that of course people are still going to be coming for the 2-year-old stuff and we'll keep doing that. But we also can be like growing together, which I think has been a feature of your audience kind of this whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I am noticing a lot of you guys, your kids are celebrating birthdays right now. So we must have like found each other at the same time, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, this is a really good episode. We want them to stay till the end.
We want you to stay till the end. There's a lot of like fun in the beginning and like personal stories and like playfulness. Like it's a cute, fun conversation. We had a really good time.
Yeah.
And then right toward the like back third, it gets really meaty. So I'll even say I'd like you to listen to the whole episode, but if you only have 15 or 20 minutes, jump to the end because Shaun says some really, really profound things about what it means to him to be spending time with children. And he gets to speak to like what that does in the children in a way that like, I don't know if I've ever heard anybody articulate it like quite so beautifully. And he's got a really special message for moms right at the end.
Very validating to you like full-time caregivers.
Right. Because we should say, if anyone isn't aware, Shaun is the like full-time daytime caregiver for your family right now. So he's got this really specific and helpful perspective.
Yeah. We went to an aquarium and saw that the seahorses, like the dad seahorse carries the baby. And I was like, Shaun, you're like the dad seahorse because he was, he's so like, he is that way. And he speaks life over you. If you're in that role. It's very, very good to hear. And even if you're not the one who's in that role, it's really life-giving to share with those who are in that.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. And he's a good speaker. It's something that Shaun used to do a lot more of. And then in this season of his life, he spends most of his speaking engaging with little kids who don't care. So it's nice to be able to have like something I know so well about Shaun be shared with you guys because he really is a good communicator and it's fun to share with this crowd. Also, he likes Lane so much and he was like, she is so smart. I learned so much from her. I was like, I know. This is what I'm saying.
We do get into a little bit of live coaching. So if you're like interested in really the preschool transition, this is like a juicy conversation about that too.
Helped him. It's funny. It really helped him. Yeah. So anyway.
So good. Cool. All right. Enjoy, you guys.
Okay, welcome to the podcast, Shaun Hover. Shaun David Hover.
Shaun David Hover, I've already learned something new about you, which is you're David.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Shaun.
I'm a David.
I was gonna say my joke like, you're 37 now. I'm sleeping with a 37-year-old, but I don't think we've slept together since you turned 37 because I was gone. So sorry.
You guys,
sorry.
Gotta consummate the year.
Yeah, I got my period too.
Yeah,
so
maybe we
just
have. That's true. That's
No, we
very
haven't.
sad.
Ugh,
I'm
I
not
wonder.
really 37 until that happens.
Right. It's not legal
Yeah.
until you've consummated.
Yeah.
Shaun, I have been looking forward to this since the very beginning. Since
She
the
really wanted you
very
on this
beginning.
podcast.
We've been like, and also, we got to get this guy on the podcast. So I'm super happy you're here.
Yeah, makes sense. You're like, we're doing a very good mother's podcast. Can't wait to have Shaun on it. Yeah, that makes
Hey,
sense.
man.
This podcast.
Also not a mother.
True. And the podcast is called Very Good Enough. And it's a podcast by Very Good Mothers Club, but it's for everybody. It's for parents, it's for caregivers. And you happen to be basically the stay-at-home parent, at least in our last
now
year.
I learned something new. Look at that.
See?
Yes, it is very good enough. I forgot that's what it was called.
Yeah, that is what it's called.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to start way at the very beginning, which is that your wife has stated many a time that you have always wanted to be a dad and that you've been really looking forward to that. And even that was like a thing that you guys had to figure out together because of how much you have wanted to be a dad. Is that in fact true?
That's partially true. I think it's more like I always knew that being a dad is something that fits me. Because my dad is very dad. He's very quirky and like has all these kind of just very dad-like qualities. And he's definitely passed down some of those qualities to me. And so I've always known my true identity. I should be a dad.
Sure.
I didn't really think about it much. So it's like I always feel like I'm gonna be one. But it's not like I was always like, oh, I can't wait to be a dad and have children. I really didn't think about it much. But I definitely knew the essence of dadhood lives inside of me.
Yeah. Can we have a few examples from your father to you?
My number one
Bear in mind, your dad is 100% listening to this.
For sure. His number one talent, which is also one of my number one talents, is how to not spend money. So that's something that I've practiced my entire life, and I continue to practice. I just have to now learn how to make money. So, it's if I can get both of those skills down, then we'll be set for life.
Yeah. His dad also is hilarious and just like says quirky, funny things. I feel like your dad is funny even when he's not trying to be funny. We laugh, and you have tendencies that very much are like your dad. And then now we're seeing that actually Wilson will say certain things and do certain things, and we're like, oh my gosh, you're Papa. So it's all just trickling down.
That's nice.
Yeah, anything that I didn't get from my dad, it skipped a generation and went straight to Wilson.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, true.
Perfect. Between the two of you, you're a perfect reflection.
Yeah.
So another skill, this is one that my mother passed down to me, is how to grocery shop. And I'm pretty passionate about grocery shopping. And so I like to do the grocery shopping in the household because, there's just, in my mind, it has to be done a certain way.
Yeah.
And so I feel much more at ease when I know I'm in control of all the groceries.
What he's telling you, Lane, is that in our life together, we have argued about groceries.
Yeah, well, you do it wrong, obviously.
I do, actually. I do it wrong. I've gotten so much better, but I did not ever have your mom to raise me in the art of grocery shopping. And so I would buy things, and he would be like, so was this the best value? And I'm like, it's the best looking. And he's like, no, but what is it the best value? And I'm like, I don't even know how you calculate that. It's the best looking one. So yeah, it was worth what I paid. And then, over time, things have changed. But Trader Joe's helps me get the best value. So I shop there, and you shop with Lane at Grocery Outlet.
I was going to say, I appreciate that this is coming up because it really is a convergence of the first few things that we ever connected over, which is not spending money and Grocery Outlet Bargain Market, which is just really like the city on the hill of the thing that we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Grocery Outlet Bargain Market is my happy place. And for those who don't know, it's basically like the TJ Maxx or like Marshall's of groceries. They get all the stuff. I don't know where they come from, but I think they just come from other grocery stores. It's like all the reject stuff, but it's high quality, like natural organic reject stuff. And so it's funny, like you get weird flavors that you don't see at the normal grocery store because no one bought it. You're like, oh, coconut water. And then you're like, oh, kiwi strawberry coconut water. All right, I guess I can get that because it's only 50 cents.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to say, you said that Trader Joe's gives you the best value. That's false, but that's okay. You know, I love Trader Joe's. I believe in Trader Joe's. I wouldn't call it the best value, but I would call it the best store.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still doing it wrong.
That's what I came here to say.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Let me just, can I give a couple examples? Like,
there's some things. That's exactly what I was going to ask for.
There's some things that are just so unfathomable to me. And this was like growing up, I would see my friends' parents do this, and it was, my brain didn't even know how to process it. My next door neighbor, JD, his mom would say, oh, I'm going to the grocery store. What cereal do you want? And I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, I want Fruity Pebbles. Oh, I want Frosted Flakes. Oh, okay. And then she would just get it. And I was like, you can just get any cereal you want? Like, it doesn't matter how much it costs. What if it's not on sale? What if it's $5 for the box? She's just going to buy it? So we have like, there's every item, there's a certain like price marker that we will not go above. So cereal, if it's more than $1.99, we are not getting it.
That's a tight
Doesn't matter
bar.
if it's your favorite cereal. So you don't get, like in my family, you don't get what you want. You get what is cheap. So, you know, $1.99 cereal. If it's, as long as it's that, it's like, what cereal do you want if it happens to be $1.99? You know, like you might as well not even ask. And it's the same thing with restaurants. When I would go out with my friends, I would just watch them order, and they would just look at the menu and just pick something they wanted. And I was like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Like in my family, it's like, okay, we're sitting down at the restaurant. Here's what you're allowed to order. And it's like one thing or two things. And it's because that's, you know, price wise, that's what you're allowed to order. And, you know, I'm not mad about that. I still live that way, and I love it.
But you have had to up the cereal amount, because is there even a cereal that exists for $2 or less?
There is at Grocery Outlet.
Oh.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was shocked. I went to Ralph's and they were like $7 cereal boxes.
Well, yeah, it's a different world now. Definitely. You can still get cereal for $1.99. You get cereal for 99 cents at Grocery Outlet. Wow. And you get good cereal. We're out there getting puffins and whatever we want.
Right.
Puffins and
Kashi. This is so funny. This is so, the specifics of what you're saying are so related to my life. Like, I really remember going up and down the cereal aisle looking at the tags for the different color and just like really scanning numbers here of like nothing that's bigger than, I mean, I think for us it was like, it can't be a 3. Yeah. Which I understand is like a huge splurge. But
right.
Yeah, cereal specific. And you know, puffins are a freaking treat.
They are. They really are. Yep.
I'm going to clip this up and send it to Grocery Outlet, because they should be sponsoring all of our, both of our families should be sponsored by this company.
Really true. What happened? Was it the first time you guys came over and Shaun wanted to showcase like
it was an early time, and this is where we connected over the Grocery Outlet, because you had purchased a huge sampling of seltzers in a lot of different flavors. And these were flavors that I've never seen before, that surely only can be purchased at Grocery Outlet, because who is stocking these? Yeah. Like, I think those probably moved the distance between them being in regular grocery store shelves and them hitting Grocery Outlet shelves is probably like record time, because the flavors were absurd.
They tasted like chapstick.
Yeah, a lot of chapstick, real chemically.
Like
they tasted like other stuff smells.
Yes. But at least we tried it.
They tasted like crap. They were terrible. They were disgusting.
Yeah. But
you know, that's part of
experience.
That's all part of the thrill of shopping Grocery Outlet. Is you never know if it's going to be good or bad. I got this beer from there, this double IPA, and I took it home and took a drink of it, and I was like,
It was so good.
This is this is a great beer. This is one of the best beers. And so I went back and got a whole case of them, got a big giant box.
Yeah.
So sometimes you luck out and sometimes you're drinking chapstick.
Yeah. And when you luck out, you go and you put your arm on that aisle and you scoop the full quantity straight into your cart. That's right. It's never coming back.
Yeah, as if it's like a shopping spree. Like you have 1 minute, go scoop as much as you can, like that kind of thing.
I saw a prank video once, Shawnee, where they like tricked people. They were like, you have 1 minute to go grocery shopping in this grocery store. You can take everything you want. And it wasn't real. And people were racing through the store doing it. And they like ran to the outside and the people who were there with all the cameras and stuff were gone.
Oh my God.
And it was just like little film on the side.
Amazing.
That is. My brother Jason, my oldest brother, I have 2 brothers. I'm the youngest. I'm the baby. My oldest brother used to do like funny pranks with his friends. He gave his boss as a gift tickets because he had tickets to some sports game. I forget what it was. So he gave his boss this as a gift. So in the envelope was the tickets. And then the prank part, he included a fake coupon for a free hot dog. And like free hot dog and free drink. So then his boss goes to the game and then he's like texting Jason or something like, what's up with these coupons? They've never seen these or something like that. And Jason texts him back a little while later and says like, well, there's no such thing. Sorry, Jules is here.
The climactic moment.
I gave you 2 gummies, baby. I did give you a vitamin. I gave you 2 vitamins. Like a gummy?
Baby, the gummy. Oh, a gummy candy? I didn't know I was talking about a gummy candy. I thought I was talking about a gummy vitamin.
She was talking about gummy vitamins, baby.
I didn't know we had a gummy candy.
We do, but I wanted a gummy. I wanted a gummy.
Okay, I'll give you a gummy as long as you'll be a good girl and shut your yapper for the time that we're on this podcast, okay?
I see the confusion,
all right,
Jules.
we'll have to cut this part off for a second.
Okay. Are you okay?
She just tipped over the entire end table, knocked a plant over. All right. Okay, come here. I'll give you a gummy.
Knocked a plant over.
You got an end table with a plant?
I guess I do.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's okay. We need to hear the end of your story.
Oh, yeah. I want to know, what did Jason say to his boss?
So Jason texted him back a little while later and said, well, there's no such thing as a free hot dog. And then his boss texted him back a picture of his hot dog and drink and said, there is now, so, and then he didn't get fired.
Nice.
So.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's impressive. It ended up being a prank on the hot dog stand.
I know.
I feel like I don't do enough pranks in my life. I need to do more pranks. Okay, next topic.
Perfect. I want to hear about you taking Wilson to school because we talked about this off pod, but it's such a sweet
first
moment.
Day of school, Shawnee, how was that for you?
Yeah, because you took him.
Yeah, and even the lead up,
Yeah, so I know it's so interesting. Wilson, one thing you got to know about him, he loves being home. He loves being with his family. And he loves being safe and secure. Sweet. Whenever he's home, he likes to go up to the door and lock it. He wants to keep everybody contained. He wants to keep the family contained and secure. And so last year, he was going to go to school, and he wanted nothing to do with it. He would talk about it all the time that he's not going to go. He doesn't want to go. He just wants to be with his family. And, we're like, dude, you got to branch out sometime. And fortunately for him, they said, when we met with the school, they were like, and he's going to have to wear a mask all day. And I was like, he's 3 years old. He's got to wear a mask all day long, even when he's outside playing.
And
everything.
it was after LA had gotten rid of all mask mandates for schools.
Yeah, there were no
for this age group. Yeah,
there were no mask mandates. They said the only mask mandates left is for 3-year-olds. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
So anyway,
even for outside, and it was over 100 degrees when school was starting, and we just weren't feeling good about that. So.
Yes, I was like, let me know when you drop the mandate, and we'll bring him to school. And And so he lucked out and didn't have to go last year, which turned out to be great because he got to hang out with me and be with his family. And then like a few weeks ago, before his new school year was going to start, the mask mandate is dropped, and he's won't stop talking about school. He wants to go to school. He's so excited for school, and he's just ready. And
So
we're like,
cool.
I'm skeptical. I'm like, yeah, you're talking a big game, but then when we take you to school, you're gonna freak out, and you're gonna, because Wilson, he's a freak out guy.
Sure.
He'll just go from normal child to freak out child very quickly if he's unhappy about something. And so I was prepared for the freak out. And he's got his backpack, he's got it, he's got all his stuff. He's so excited, and we take him to the school the first day, and we just walk up to the teachers and open up the door, and he just walks in. He just goes in and disappears.
Amazing.
And I'm like, bye, dude. No hug, no kiss, nothing. So
No, and more than that, Wilson, when he says goodbye, says a monologue. He says, Shaun,
speech.
do it with me. Ready? Go.
Oh,
Love
gosh.
you too. Do you know it?
It's longer and longer every single day.
Yeah, just do the shortest version. Love you too.
Love you. Love you too. Love you. Best daddy ever. Love you more than anything. Except for God and mommy. Love you like crazy.
Good night. Good night. Construction site.
Good night. Construction site. The bad seeds. Good egg. Yeah.
It goes on and on.
This is a country music song.
I know. Exactly. And it happens every time we say goodbye, good night, see you later. Like it's a whole thing. And he said none of them when he went to school.
He did it. And then I took him to school. And so we say all of that stuff, but we say it very fast. So when we actually, like when I say good night to the kids, I'm like, okay, good night, guys. And then I go, love you too, best kids ever, love you more than anything, except for God and mommy, love you like crazy, night, good night, construction site, the bad seed, good egg, bye, good night. And then I leave, So you can say it fast.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can pack that content in.
Anyway, he just runs off, and I was so proud of him, and also I was so just like, oh my gosh, my sweet boy has rejected me for these school teachers.
And
I felt that. I was happy.
No, but you were like nervous that he was going to get in there and then kind of realize what he had done, and then you would already be gone because the whole morning I was nervous. Like you were in a tizzy.
Yeah,
I was nervous. I made him a welcome home sign. Yeah,
he had foggy eyes. So, I was like, "Are you okay? You looked like you were gonna cry."
So the next day he does great again, and then the next day I think he does not do great. But then what happened the other day? The first day you were gone.
Yeah.
I was talking to the very good Mothers Club coaching group about this.
Yeah, he let us.
He had a complete meltdown trying to go into school. And it was a normal thing. Like he was excited for school. He was ready. And I tried to have the morning be very smooth and all that. I thought everything was just right. And we get to school and he's going crazy, does not want to go, won't go. And the teachers are like, just get the heck out of here. The longer you stay here, the worse it gets. Right. But he's freaking out. He's crying. He's holding me. He won't let me go. He's screaming. Like it's horrible. And I have to leave. And so I have to like rip him off of me. The teachers are having to like hold him back. And I just have to walk away. I'm like, okay, bye, buddy. Love you.
Yeah.
And that was a difficult experience.
Yeah.
Because we've never had to do that with him. Because, like, if we take him to church and we take him to, like, the kids group, if he freaks out like that, it's not like he has to be there, We'll just be like, all right, fine, you can go with us, But with school, we're like, dude, this is school. You got to stay here, man.
Yeah. But also with the church thing, Shaun, he wouldn't go to church when he had to go by himself. The only reason why he goes now is because Eloise and Jules are in the same room and our friend runs it. So he's like, there's my friend. Yeah. Those are my ladies. Yeah. Like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're like fully describing the experience that we talk about so often. Everything you're saying is so common and so normal. It's really, I think it's super cool that you guys got to hold off so that he could go when he's ready. That's not like, you can't always do that, but like that's very cool when it happens. And then it's very common that the third or fourth time at school, the kid's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I did a phenomenal job at school, did it, checkbox, school, take me home. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
And like that thing of like, oh, this is for real and this keeps going. That's like very, very common.
Yeah.
That really it is like the third or fourth time where they're like, whew, I did not
don't
mean
wanna
to be
keep
doing
coming.
this every
Yeah.
single time and no thank
That's
you.
interesting. I figured it would happen either the first day or the second day. I thought maybe he did good the first day and he has no clue what is going to happen.
Sure.
And then maybe the second day he would freak out. It's kind of strange that it would be like, oh, third, fourth, fifth day, like. But I did take heart because there was another child being dropped off who was also doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
yeah.
okay, at least my child's not the only one having an absolute meltdown over
But
going to school.
Yeah, but didn't Wilson tell you later why he did that? Because I feel like now you've
Yes.
got it totally ready now.
Yes, he explained to me the reason. Oh, well, first, when I went to pick him up from school, the teachers said, as soon as you left, he calmed down and he had a great day. And they pulled out an iPad and they showed me all these pictures of Wilson singing and dancing and
That's
playing with
nice.
things
Cute.
and eating
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
So that was comforting. But then he explained to me the reason why he freaked out is because he didn't get to play with his car carrier truck that morning.
Okay.
And they don't have trucks
so
at school.
So my thought
Preschool
was,
doesn't have
No.
trucks, you guys. What is
No.
this?
yes,
going
they
on?
have trucks, but he had a new truck, which is like a
Oh,
big truck
okay.
He told
that
me
inside of the big truck, you put all these other little trucks.
Yeah.
So he's got 6 little trucks that he puts inside the big truck.
Yeah.
And it's very important to him that he gets to have some playtime with that.
Okay.
I thought, because I value sleep more than playing with trucks.
Yeah.
So my thought was, I want to let him sleep as long as possible so that school and the day can go as smooth as possible.
Yeah.
So I woke him up to go to school, but not with enough time to play with his truck. And so he told me that's the reason he freaked out. So now every morning since then, we make sure that he has time with his truck before he goes to school.
Okay, I like that. That's a little bit of control for him.
Yeah.
Of like, no, there's something I'm in charge of here. Because really what you're saying about it being the first time, like school is kind of a long day, even if it's a short day when you're little.
Yeah.
So it really is one of the very first, like, this is a hard thing. Like you got to do this hard thing and you got to keep doing it. So it makes a lot of sense. It's very normal. And I like that little bit of a routine. Don't be terribly surprised if suddenly there's a different thing that he actually like really has to do. Oh, no, if I just did this thing, then school will be fine. Oh, no, I only freaked out for this other made up reason when really like he's just trying to navigate his way emotionally through like, whoa, hard thing over kind of a long period of time and testing like, well, what does feel good to me and what doesn't feel good to me. And here I am, a 3-year-old, changing all the time too.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So what is it? It's that he wants to, it's a control thing. Like he wants to feel some sense of control because he's about to enter into this environment without his parents, this environment that isn't his like safe zone.
It's that he's in this like 2-ish year period where he's really exploring for the first time what effect he has on the world. Like he's out kind of just sort of overall all of his experiences. He's like, okay, I'm here. What effect do I have? Okay, my family's here. Cool. Can I pull them closer? Oh, I feel safe. Could I feel safer? Oh, I can stretch really far away and run really far to the other side of this park. Well, could I climb up the fence too? Like everything's just this question of like, now I know that I'm here in the world and I have a self. And what does that mean? How much effect do I have on this world? So now you have a whole new environment with a whole new set of social structures and rhythms. And he just kind of is going to have to go push on all of them to find out like what moves and what's firm. And am I in charge of parts of the morning and which parts am I not in charge of? And then just kind of emotionally go through that. So you'll see really different things all throughout the day because he's just kind of got to test the fences here of really everything. Oh, now I go this long period of time without seeing my dad. Well, is it the same dad who comes to see me? Yeah, this is the same dad. Well, then he should snuggle me. Or, oh, well, then what if I cry at the end of the day? Does something different happen? Like it's all just a lot of testing. And so it needs a really like the arms around it need to be really firm, but a lot of flexibility inside of that circle of big firm arms. Yes, we are going to school. We already checked on this. It is safe. It is good. But feel free to try out different morning routines, to snuggle a lot, to say a lot more, to write me a letter at school, like a lot of flexibility inside of a very firm, clear boundary. So that, because that is what he has control of, right? He has control of kind of how he spends his day and how he tries things out and like little pieces. But the bigger piece, you're still in charge of, because that's actually what's safe is, oh no, I decide this bigger part of your life.
That is very good. Is that why the teachers attempted to tell me that it's better to just hug him and leave, or don't hug him, just to bring him and leave as fast as possible? Because if we do this big long, oh, he's crying, okay, let's hug longer, okay, let's keep snuggling, okay, let me calm you down, okay, let's work our way into finally getting you into school, that then he's like, okay, cool, that's how this works now, that's the routine. If we go to school, I cry and freak out, I get a bunch of snuggles, I get to calm down. Is it better to be like, he has it's like sleep training. It's like, it's better he has a big giant freak out meltdown, but I just leave and am gone, and then the next days are easier, instead of being more comforting and all of that to help him know, no, look, dad still loves you. But then it actually could result in doing that every single day.
Yeah, the advice that they're giving you is definitely the quickest. It's the shortest of the freak out will be if you go there and are gone very quickly. Like, he will not, most children do not carry that on with the teacher for very long, because there's nothing to be gained there. Like, what they want is actually not available anymore. So now we get to just like shift the focus away and want to focus on something else.
Interesting.
This is my favorite version though, because it's, in my opinion, I think that there should be a lot of flexibility given to how parents want to do that, because there are people whose value is like, I don't leave my screaming child places. Like, that's not how we do this.
I felt a bit like a monster.
Yeah. Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense. It's not a pleasant sight. It's a sound that you're biologically wired to respond to. Like, you should, that's right that something comes up inside when you feel that. My favorite version is like, we have a very brief routine at school. I think it's nice for a parent to be like, we come in the classroom, we put down your backpack, we say hello to the pet, or we say hello to your favorite toy or whatever, and then I squeeze and kiss you, and I do hand you over, and I do leave. The only part that's like, that must happen is that you have to decide when you're leaving, and then you really got to go. So whether you want that to be immediate, of like, we did our snuggles ahead of time at school, I drop you and bail, I trust your teachers, this is the space for them, I'm out of here. Or you're someone who wants to have a little bit more of like, first I come into the space, so there's a little bit of like a meanness here for you to remember.
Right.
That, I think that part is kind of up to you. But the part that's super important is that you, the adult Shaun, know when you're leaving, and that's real. The only time that these drop-offs get really sticky to me is when the parents like kind of going and kind of not, and teacher, should I, and kid, okay, are you ready buddy, here I go, oh you're not ready, okay I'll stay, or but are you ready now, okay. And that's when I feel like it's too big of a choice to put on the child, because they want to be with you all day, of course. So it's too big for them. Some adult has to be able to say like, this is the time and this is what happens. And then you really do got to stay gone. Because like, kind of the only thing that can ruin a kid's day after they've recovered is to see the parent again, but still not get them. Yeah. Like that's a huge bummer, to just like peek your face in a window can just blow up the whole situation. Yeah. Which I understand the feelings so much, like so much compassion for how that feels for parents. But like, that part's got to be clear.
Sometimes on my end with Eloise, because I used to bring her, mostly Shaun, in Barcelona, when I would bring her, if Sylvia was there, Sylvia, her like main teacher, Sylvia's presence was very confident and very much like, Eloise is going to be okay. We can do this. But then there was like this substitute interim person who came in, and that person did not seem confident and very much was like, ooh, oh, wow. Like, ooh, that's a lot of crying. And I was not confident because I was like, I don't know how to do this. And she doesn't know how to do this. And that was a lot harder. And so, I also feel like there's something to like, if there needs to be a separate conversation outside with the person of like, will you please be confident, and I will be confident, and we will do a smooth handoff in the presence of this crying child. At least with Wilson's teachers, I don't know how it was the day you did it, but the day I did it,
they're very confident.
So confident to the point where you're like, Are you fine? Are you a nice person?
Like, okay, daddy, bye-bye. Okay, daddy, leave. Okay, go, bye-bye. Okay, come here, Papa. They call Wilson Papa. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Sometimes it can be nice for a teacher because there is like an awkwardness to the adult interaction of where I'm like, I can fix this in like 4 seconds.
You just leave.
So just give me this child and go away. Yeah. But of course, that's not to the benefit of the whole, right? If you're serving the family, you also need to be caring for that parent in there too. But yeah, and if you can communicate like, hey, this is how I'm going to want drop-offs to go. What I've decided is that for Wilson, we're going to hang up his backpack. We're going to go say hello to the trucks over here. I'm going to kiss and squeeze and then just hand off to you. Does that feel good? And if you can do that in front of the child, I think that's kind of nice because then they know that everybody's on the same team. Right. And like the adults feel confident about what's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
And Wilson loves his little routines. They bring comfort and security. Quick question. So me and Jess were talking about what we concluded is it's probably better if I take him to school. I feel like he'll do better parting ways with me than with her because she's mom and she's more, as Wilson describes it, she's softer.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's nice. That gender divide can be really different in different families, but I think it is smart to know like which parent has a little bit of a clearer, easier separation point. Yeah. Because sometimes it's dad who's like, I hate it when she cries. And you're like, I know, maybe Sarah should drop off instead.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. In Spain at Eloise's, they were like, it's always better if it's not the mom in that. But that's so true. If the dad can't handle the crying more than the mom can't. But the only time I've taken Wilson, he cried. Okay. And I think it was because it was me. Mm-hmm. It seems like it.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's hard to say bye to mom. It's easier to say bye to dad.
Mm-hmm. But I also think Wilson's style is if we talk it through, like before arriving there, then he'll do better. And so like today he told me like, I need to wake up and I need to play with my truck so that I can be happy when I get there. And otherwise it is hard for teacher if I am not happy. I'm like, okay.
That's so nice.
Yeah. It's like he has it in his mind now, whether it's in his mind where he's like, okay, because he said the reason why I cried is because I didn't play with my trucks. So now he's like, okay, if I play with my trucks, then I won't cry when I get to school. And I feel like it gives him the strength where he plays with his truck. So then when he's about to be dropped off, he wants to cry. He still feels that urge, but he's like, I played with my truck,
Yeah. Yeah, but we do that as adults too. We have all these props to just help us with the fact that life's a little uncomfortable kind of all the time. There's like just a lot of discomfort about being here and being alive. And so I'm like, okay, I drank my bone broth. I ate that like I got protein. I slept well last night.
That's right.
I'm going to see my husband later, right? Like, or I planned for this meeting. I thought about it. I wrote down some things that I want to ask Shaun Hover about, we do these things to just like help ourselves through. So that's him like pretty it's a sophisticated process to self-soothe using an object like that. But he's doing that same process that we all do at like kind of a rudimentary level of like, he doesn't really know what his actual needs are. He just thinks I need trucks. Yeah. But he's going and like getting his little tank filled up with what he thinks is important in order to sustain him. It's beautiful. It's real person stuff.
His little gas tank. Yes.
His little gas tank. Let me ask you guys about your setup where Shaun, you are like the primary daytime caregiver and how you guys arrived to that. I would like you to note that I did not say stay-at-home dad because I know that's not your preference.
Yeah, you don't want to be called a stay-at-home dad.
So
that
maybe
just
first
sounds
tell
so
us
boring.
What you don't like about stay-at-home dad, and then tell us how you guys came to this arrangement.
Yeah.
Stay-at-home dad, it's not an active word. It's like the primary word is what you're not doing. Like you're not leaving, basically. It's like the do nothing guy is kind of what it feels like. It's like stay at home. It's like, well, we're not staying at home. We're running around all over the place all day long, nonstop. It doesn't feel like I'm just a stay here kind of guy. So I think maybe that's.
And on the days that we just stay here with the kids, we're like more exhausted. So for any parent who's in this stage who is actually staying at home, they're tired. So then it also just feels like poo-pooing on the.
You got to have.
You're not working.
You got to have a good home.
Yeah.
You got to have a good, comfortable home that you can set up good systems in where you can stay all day. But yeah, we don't do much staying. I'm the dad. I'll kind of give you a rundown on that whole thing. Jess and we've been married 14 years, and we go through different seasons in our marriage, and things look different in different times. And for the last several years before we started having children, and while we had Eloise, we were in Barcelona calling all skaters, a skateboarding organization, getting that established.
We're in Spain. We're doing Calling All Skaters. We have Eloise. We're flying everywhere. You are flying everywhere. You are flying everywhere all the time.
Everywhere, all the time. Jess is supporting me in carrying my vision forward. And then we finish Barcelona, we come home, we have Wilson, and now it's like family life. And I think for us, at least, and how we do things in our marriage is it's not like your vision and my vision. And, it's like we want to serve one another in their vision and just do what's best and most needed for our family. It's not about a you versus me kind of thing. And so then once we started popping out more kids, we kind of had some nannies going, and, we kind of had some different things figured out. And I'm like, man, I don't know. It's not like I have some big career that I need to consider whether I'm leaving or not. I'm like, I'm in a moment in my life where I could take care of these kids, and it's not a big loss on my end. I'm not having to leave behind something big to do it. So it was like, all right, I want to do my thing, my personal thing with Jess, with Very Good Mothers Club, is I believe in her and I believe in what she's doing way more than I believe in anything that I'm doing or any ideas I have. And also, she is so much more productive with her use of time than I am, that if only one of us can be using our time to do our thing, it should definitely be her, because she accomplishes an unbelievable amount more than what I accomplish with my time. I'm a slow person. And so what I want to do is do everything I possibly can to help Jess do what she needs to do and build her thing. And I want to do everything I can to make her doing that be as least stressful as possible, because she has so much crap going on and she's juggling so many things in her mind and with her time, that it's not just like, okay, fine, I'll take care of the kids. It's like, I want to do as many things as I can to help her not have to carry more than she's already carrying. And I don't want her to feel held back from being able to fully do what she's trying to do here. So it's like, that's my contribution to Very Good Mothers Club, basically, is trying to free up Jess as much as I can so that she can get as much done as she can and not go insane while doing it. And she does go insane.
Huge contribution.
So. And so do you, actually.
And so
both go insane sometimes.
And so the other part of it is, because the thing is, like, the full-time dad thing, that is not for everyone. That is not for every dad. It's like we said earlier, at a young age, we knew I have the dad essence and a good dad-like personality. And so I love being with the kids all day. They drive me crazy and I lose my mind all the time. But in the deeper sense of the thing, I absolutely love it. And I know there is nothing more valuable I could be doing with my time than giving it to my children, investing in my children every single day, teaching them, loving them, snuggling them, disciplining them, showing them all of my ways, teaching them how to grocery shop, playing with them, teaching them how to be brave, teaching them how to take risks, encouraging them to step out. There is no way that I will look back years down the road and say, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have spent so much time with my kids. That really hindered my career opportunities. There's no chance that I'm going to look back and think that. There's no chance that I will regret spending this much time with my children and pouring into my children at this young age. And you have such a short window of time where they're that young and that impressionable. And so to me, the fact that I have the opportunity to be with my kids this much and have this much of an impact in their lives is it's the best thing that I could ever do. So so I look around at other friends of mine and my age, and I'm like, wow, you guys have like real careers. So I could definitely feel lesser than for not having that at the moment. But at the same time, it's what I was telling to Jimmy yesterday on the way to Taco Thursday, because we couldn't do Tuesday. On the way to Taco Thursday, I was like, man, I'm just so grateful. Like that's like the constant that's going on underneath all the crap and all the stress and all the children are driving me nuts. Like underneath all that is this like constant flow of such gratitude. I'm like telling Jimmy, I'm like, I have 3 children. Like I have a family. I have a wife and 3 children. This is such an unbelievable, like not many people get to have that. And it's like, so what if I don't have this and this and this and this? Like you can't take that away. Like there's nothing more valuable than that. And so anyway, I'm very grateful that I get to do it. And the thing that only strengthens that feeling is actually watching it happen with Eloise, because I've been so close with her and just one with her from the day she was conceived and all the way up until now. And I've gotten to watch like a lot of things about her personality and about her way that like where she, like, for example, she is such a natural rule follower and she is such a natural, very cautious, careful person. And she's like, she kind of has these certain ways. And so then I get to have part of my role in her life is to teach her how to break rules when it's appropriate, and to teach her to not care about when someone's trying to take a silly thing and put it on you and make you whatever. Like you don't like when it's cool to break rules and when it's not, and how to treat people and how to take risks. And she is, it's like I watch her change. And when she got
everyone's crying over your shoulder. We're all crying. Never stop. Keep going.
Beautiful.
She got these roller skates. We went, I wasn't trying to get her roller skates. We went to Goodwill and they happened to have this beautiful pair of roller skates that fit her like a glove. And I thought it would be like anything else, that she would kind of like play around with them and that would be that. But from the moment she put those things on, she would not take them off. And something about Eloise that we noticed from when she was young, she's very good with words. She's very good with a lot of things, but she was not coordinated, not balanced, not her, like motor skills were not her thing. And so, it's like skateboarding, roller skating, these types of things in my mind is like, that's not really her strength, her natural strength. And also the toughness aspect. She's so like, fragile and delicate and careful and cautious and, all of that. But she starts roller skating and she never wants to take them off. She wore those things every day when we would go to the park. She'd put them on and she wouldn't take them off till she got home. She'd wear them into the car, and she just slowly started figuring out. She's twirling and she's spinning. And this was the thing that was interesting to me, is she was falling and scraping herself and hurting herself and crying multiple times every day while roller skating. And I would expect her, after doing that 1 or 2 times, to be like, I don't like this. I don't want to do this anymore. But she didn't. Like, she kept doing it and kept doing it. And she's gotten a lot tougher. I'm like, she can handle, because she sees me doing that every single day. She sees me throwing my body all over the place, destroying my body every day and not crying about it. And so to see her kind of like falling and getting scraped, and she just keeps going and keeps going. And I'm like starting to see that like skater spirit kind of in her. It's like just so cool and so exciting. So that's one example. The other one is
Okay,
just the
wait.
sense of humor.
Can I
It's
pause you?
hilarious.
I need to pause you right there because this is something I very specifically wanted to talk to you about. I wrote something down because a while ago, Connor was looking at some piece of content that you posted, and this is what he said, and I want you to talk about it super specifically because what you just said is such a big deal. Okay, he said, Shaun Hover's kids are learning how to fall, and that's the skill of life.
Mm.
And I think that's something you do really purposefully. And I want to like hone in on that a little bit more and then go to whatever your next thing is because I never want you to stop talking.
Shawnee, it's like when Eloise was like, "What's our family motto?" And then I said the dumb one, but now we like always say it. Our family motto is always make mistakes. But like we joke like that can't be a family motto, but it's like basically
Sure
always
can.
fall down. But it's because my personality is the other way of like never make mistakes, never fall down, like just stay up.
Yeah.
But then you live in a way that's like, well, that's boring. Don't do that. You got to make mistakes and fall down. That's how this works.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I think the kids they're all picking up on it. There was something very specific that I'm trying to remember that Jules or Wilson did, but it's something about when there's something that you've decided you want to do, a goal, when you have a goal. And that's the cool thing about skateboarding is it's not like, oh, it's like you go to the skate park and you have a goal. Your goal is, I want to land this trick I've never landed before. And you're trying it and you're falling and falling. You spend maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, and you keep trying, you keep falling, you keep getting hurt. And also the other part of it is you keep sometimes landing it, but you don't land it good enough, or you don't land it the way you want it. That's a big part of skating. It's not just about landing your trick. It's about landing it the way you want to land it, and landing it in a way that it feels the way you want it to feel. So even sometimes you land it and all the homies are like, that was it. That one was good. There was nothing wrong with that. And you're like, no, that didn't feel right. Like, I know how I want it to feel, and that one didn't feel the way I wanted it to feel. I need to land it. I need to land it and feel it. And then when you get that one, you just know. It's like, that was it. I got it. That's what I wanted. It happened. And so the kids get to see me doing this all the time and getting frustrated in the process. I get pretty worked up when I'm skating these days. I'm yelling, I'm shouting, I'm in the war zone. It's war. And my kids see that, and they do the same thing. Wilson does the same thing. It's so funny. Like with his trucks, like he has something he's trying to do in a range, and something goes wrong, and he's like, so I'm like, it's okay, buddy. And he's like, no, I want to do it like this. And then he's trying to do it, and I'm like, okay, that looks good. And he's like, no, that's not how I want it. I want to do it like this. And he'll just like have this persistence where I'm like, cool, man, you're learning something from skating. And Eloise does the same thing. They kind of have this special persistence where they understand that failing and falling and getting hurt and even succeeding but not succeeding the way you want to is all kind of part of this process of accomplishing a goal.
Yep.
I think that it really might be actually just the skill of life.
Yeah.
I think you might have just covered like the whole thing. Like if you can do that process, then you can live a life that you want.
It's the beauty of skateboarding. I just need to learn to apply it to the rest of life.
And maybe the rest of us need to not act so shocked when people fall down in a way that is not a sport, but like someone makes a mistake in career, or someone makes a mistake in relationship, or someone makes a mistake in integrity or something. And we're like, oh, can you believe? Maybe we should believe that that is the way of everything, is you do stuff and then you fall down. and then you get back up and then you do it again and you do it again. And the thing that like skate videos, I remember an early kind of revelation I had about skateboarding that I never understood before dating you was that the tricks I saw took like all day or days and days. But like the one moment that the world celebrates, so much led up to that tiny little thing. And like, I don't know, this is sort of a bigger idea, but like the way of social media right now is that everything is documented, which means there's no behind the scenes preparation time. You're seeing like so much of people's lives, and there's this expectation that you need to be on all the time and you need to get it right all the time. But that isn't realistic. That's not life. Life is what you're describing, a lot of falling down and being frustrated and persisting and trying to get it the way that it is supposed to be. And I just think like that's lucky for our kids to be raised where you're setting that example in skateboarding. But I also know you're setting that example in many areas, and you're being yourself in front of them. But yeah, I just think that's something that maybe you and I have grown to value as we've gotten older and as we've made our own personal mistakes, but also watched people that we love and admire fall down in certain ways, and where the temptation is to be like, oh, they fell down. Right. Kind of your attitude is like, yeah, of course they did. That is what we do. We fall down all the time. We fall down from the moment we are born and learn how to do anything. It's a lot of falling before we get it. So true. So anyway, you do that well.
Right. Yeah. Nothing shocks us anymore, where it's like, can you believe this person failed in this way? It's like, yeah, of course, everybody's failing all the time in every way. And let's keep moving. There's what you were talking about. It's funny, like with skateboarders, it'll be like if they're filming a trick for a video, it'll be some behind the scenes talking about, they're like, yeah, I got that one. That one only took like 20 tries, and like for normal people, they're like, oh, that took 20 tries. I thought that took maybe one try, maybe 2 tries. But like when you're trying to film a trick for your video part, you go into the trick expecting it to take 50, 100, 2 days. You go in that is the process of accomplishing a goal, a small goal of one trick inside of a video part that is going to have 30 tricks. And just the goal of accomplishing one of them, you already go into that knowing this may take 100 tries. And the filmer goes into it knowing this may take 100 tries. And it's like, that's just normal. And then some of them, like one that I was showing Jess, this guy took a bus from Las Vegas to Los Angeles to film this one trick that he was trying. He tried the trick, I don't even know how many times, but he took 26 trips on a bus from Las Vegas to LA, meeting up with the filmers, meeting up with everyone. And he has 3 kids. And so it's not easy for him to leave either. And he went 26 times before he landed the trick. And then the trick is 5 seconds in the video.
So crazy.
That's so crazy. It's so amazing. There's so much in that for just like.
And it's funny because that's the what's silly about skateboarding, and by silly I mean it's awesome, is because that is so ridiculous, because it's a goal that kind of doesn't accomplish much. You're landing a trick on your skateboard. It's like the most trivial. I mean, it's so silly, but it's like, it's just part of a skateboarder, is once you have it decided in you that you really want this trick, like you just have to do it. And it's cool. But with all the kids, because they all have their own personalities, like Wilson is such an anxious guy. Like he has this natural, it's sad, but has this natural like anxiety, and he's like worried, and it's weird, but it's good to be so involved in his life. One, that I know these things about him and see them, but also that I get to be part of helping him be okay and teaching him how to cope and all of that stuff. And sometimes I look at it and I'm like, man, Wilson, he'll just have this freak out. Like the littlest thing will happen and he'll go nuts. Or like he'll get hurt to, let's say there's like 1 through 10 getting hurt scale. He'll get hurt a 1 and he will react as if it's a 10.
Yeah.
And he'll do that in other situations, playing with his sister. His sister will do something to offend him that is a 1, but he'll react like it's a 10. Like, for example, she goes and touches a toy that is 5 feet away from him that he's not playing with. Right. She touches the toy and he reacts as if she just broke his femur with a baseball bat. And so it's these big reactions and then this anxiety. And I'm like, it's so good that I get to be with him and get to help him and get to talk him through stuff and teach him stuff and comfort him and kind of try to help give him the tools to the best of my ability to navigate life and the anxieties of life and the trials of people touching your toys or scraping your knee. And my thought is, I'm like, I don't want to be discouraged that he is having those tendencies. Instead, I think about if he wasn't cared for well, some of this stuff could really develop in a bad way. And he could be going through life really not equipped well to deal with the anxieties of life. And so I'm like, it's even more important for him that he has that kind of input every day, because then it will, perhaps he'll grow out of it and he'll be a totally different person, but perhaps life goes on and he may be the more anxious one of the three siblings. And if he is, I want him to be the anxious one who has the tools and has the mechanisms to be able to cope with it and to be able to deal with it and to be able to walk through life successfully, even with those issues.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Julesy, our 2-year-old, who's almost 3, she is a firecracker, like run the show woman. And so with her, there's been a real emphasis on like helping her understand how to use her power with love and gentleness and tenderness and not torture Big Brother.
Yeah, she needs no encouragement in the realm of being brave, being tough, being like she is so different from Eloise. Even though they look the same, when you look at their baby pictures, you'd think they're the same child. But Jules is like the complete opposite of Eloise in a lot of ways. And I don't have to teach, like the way that I had to teach Eloise to be brave and to break the rules and all of that. I don't have to teach Jules any of that. She's got that all figured out. She's got bravery figured out. She's got rule breaking figured out. I have to teach her how to respect the rules. And I have to teach her how to be cautious and how to calculate risk, so it's funny how with each different personality, you need to emphasize, different things in what you teach them. And yeah, Jules is a powerful, powerful woman. And I always tell people always ask like, oh, like, are your kids skaters? Like, do you think any of them are going to really be like skaters or whatever? And I'm like, if anyone's going to be a true skater, it will be Jules. Yeah, like, cool. She's the one who has the full skating spirit in her. And if anyone was going to like go throw themselves down a stair set 100 times and not care, it would be her.
Imagine all the moms listening who are the primary caregiver doing what you do. And many would just value any sort of encouragement, impartation, wisdom, words of comfort, empathy, any of that. What would you say?
It's very important that you are okay. Like that's such the importance of Very Good Mothers Club, is providing support and all that so that you can survive raising your children and being okay. It's for me, it's been stages. Like I wasn't this like stoked about what we were doing, especially in the early stages of newborn babies. It's very isolating. And I mean, I experienced so many feelings and issues that I had never experienced before, that I had never dealt with before. And it's such a massive life change that it's very important that you take care of your mental health and take care of your physical health. And it's so on one hand, you say, it's very important that you do that. And then on the other hand, you go, yeah, how? It feels impossible to do it because you're dealing with newborn baby children and you can't do anything when you have them. And I feel like that's like part of the problem that Very Good Mothers Club is trying to address, is like, how do we help moms be okay when it's kind of impossible to be okay, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, whatever it takes to make sure you're okay, that's important. And the other thing, the thing that for me gives me strength and encouragement and the power to keep going every day when I'm irritated and when I'm frustrated and when I'm, you know, all of that stuff, tired, whatever it may be, is I hold on so dearly to the belief that the time I'm spending with my children and what I'm imparting to them is extremely valuable and will benefit their lives in such a huge way. Like, I believe so strongly that there is nothing better I could possibly give our children than my time and energy and attention. Like, so by understanding that and believing it, where even when you're in the moments of life that are so stressful and difficult and, you know, whatever, it's by having that belief strongly planted, it really can help you be okay while carrying on doing your duty. And you gotta really look from a big picture. Like, for me, I look at this window of time. It's not just like, oh, well, I'm kind of taking on this responsibility for a week. You know, it's like, I have to go into it going, okay, so for me, this may be a certain number of years in my life where I'm kind of just laying down my own stuff and devoting myself to my children as much as possible, to my family as much as possible. And it's gonna be many years, but just realizing there's gonna come a time, our kids aren't that young for that long, and seeing Eloise grow up like so fast, it's like, okay, this isn't forever. This is a season of life, and it's a special season of life. And so, you know, later down the road, I'll be able to focus more on all the me stuff. But for now, I get to just pour into the kids, and how special is that? So it helps keep me going.
It's really good.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Shaun, thank you so much for spending this time with us. You made everybody cry.
I know.
Oh,
my
good.
gosh. Yeah,
Good,
you're
good,
so
good.
encouraging.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I love you. I'm going to go home soon.
Oh,
So
good,
I'm going to
great.
see you in a second.
Great. Can't
Yeah,
wait to
thanks
see
for
you.
doing this.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm honored. I'm thrilled to be here, and I totally believe in what you guys are doing.
Oh,
Thanks,
thank
Shaun.
you.
Appreciate you.
Well, guys, we hope you loved it. Thank you so much for listening this far. And we know Shaun just pitched it, but we really mean it. Join Very Good Mothers Club. Be well, be healthy, be full inside so that you have something to give. Actually, recently we added a therapist to the community who's going to start doing some kind of like ask a therapist calls.
Cool.
And my whole heart there is like, just tend to the one who is tending to everyone else. Because if you're okay, your whole team's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And if you're not okay, same. Okay.
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 Love you guys. See you next week.
Bye.